For your first film directing, you put a lot of yourself into this. You brought people in from other films, other parts of your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why
well,
put so
that's
much
the way
in?
to do it. You know, I mean, if, you know, the first assistant director is a guy that I worked with 25 years ago. And when I left the set, I said to him, when I start directing films, I'm going to need a man like you. And in his dry, laconic sense of humor, he said, I shall be awaiting the call, which came 25 years later, you know. But it's the same with the DP, you know. I've shot some rock video clips with Andrew Lesney, who won the Academy Award for Lord of the Rings. And we just really fitted with each other on the set. So, you know, you want to have that, you know, a film crew is a very specific thing like that, you know. It's a little army in itself, and it has to move a certain speed. So you want to make sure that you surround yourself with people that are going to respond to you, and people who understand the creative responsibility. That is the way that I see film. It's sure, it's art, you know, and it's an artistic pursuit, but it's the most expensive commercial art form that exists. So you have to be very responsible with it. You know, you can't just wake up in the morning and hope something will go okay. You know, you've got to plan as much as you possibly can to ensure that it goes okay. And the way things are these days with budgets and stuff like that, man, if you're not prepped, you just won't get your money. You know, you got to show a higher level of preparation probably than at any stage in the film industry ever right now, because of the cost of things and the way that the audience has changed, and the way that these tentpole films, like the big Cape Crusader films, have sort of taken over the top end of the market.
You mentioned some films that haven't gone so well that you've made. After you've made so many films and won an Academy Award and been nominated other times, how is it to make a film that doesn't go so well?
Look, you can only, if you're just an actor in a movie, if you're prepped, you go to the set every day and you do your very best, that's all you can do. And, you know, everything else is up to so many other people. It's a gigantic collaborative adventure, you know. But you can't get upset about it or whatever. It is what it is. You know, some films really hit and some films don't, you know. That one film, Broken City, for example, you know, that was with Mark Wahlberg. That was an extremely challenging character for me. I had like great big chunks of dialogue, and the schedule was really squished to make it fit into the other things that I was doing. You know, I saw the film and I thought, that's a great movie. I thought that Alan Hughes, the director, did a wonderful job. But, you know, it didn't make any sort of splash at all. But 6 months later or a year later, somebody will sort of come up to you in the street and go, man, that character you played in Broken City, that was venal. You know, how did you get there? You know, that's the thing, is you just, you do your very best. Now, where you can help out in a film is to obviously make sure that you believe in what you do enough. So when you market it, it's, you know, you're not just there to sell a ticket, you're actually talking about something that you have a passion for.
When you're making a film, when you're shooting it, when you're on the set, can you tell if it's going to be really good? Do you just get a feeling?
Can you tell whether the film's going to be really good? Yeah. Can you tell whether it's going to be commercially successful? Not necessarily. You know, the success of something like Gladiator, for example, that's completely out of left field.
You didn't think it was going to be that successful?
No, I knew it was going to be, I had a deep sense it was going to be a very intense movie to watch, because we shot, you know, some intense stuff, and we did every day. And you know, you stand back from it at the end of the filming process and you think, that was a big experience. And, you know, you start adding it up in your mind and you think, well, that will definitely be something worth watching. But that level of commercial success that Gladiator achieved, that's not something that anybody predicted. Same with Beautiful Mind. You know, in fact, it was the opposite with Beautiful Mind, where they were actually predicting, in like Variety and The Hollywood Reporter, that it had a definitive glass ceiling, and even at its very best, that film would never take more than $30 or $35 million at the box office. It took 176. So, you know, those sort of things are not, you know, not always predictable. I mean, look at Les Mis. At the end of the day, it's still a musical. So that's a hard sell most of the time for people. And, you know, that's a musical about a period of French history that's not even, you know, the popular period of French history. It's like a little bit outside, you know. And all sung in English. And in order to delineate the class structure, they've used like English accents from various classes. So it's like, what about this is an immediate success? What about this is going to work? But it did, and it was hugely successful, and got a bunch of Academy Award nominations and all that sort of stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, you know, you kind of have a funny thing where you go into the job, you have to have an inbuilt optimism that, you know, that the effort that you're doing, it goes somewhere, that it finds an audience, but it's not always going to be the case.